What up, boys and girls? You're just gonna get me today with the early start on this slate. Smitty's still tied up at work, so I'm gonna give you a quick breakdown. We're probably I think about an hour from start. Yeah, a little over an hour from kickoff here, and I'm gonna give you guys a quick breakdown on what I think. Last night we had a great day in Moonshot. We hit Jordan for two again. That's like just me alone, I'm up like 24 units to start the baseball season, and that's not like made up. That's like trackable actual bets. Um, and then I faded 73% glass down last night, and um, I'm always going to be it ended up like some thirds, and like an eighth. Had a great day, but um, I'll just always be okay fading that kind of chalk. I'll never play somebody at 73%. Basically, like maybe on a once in a blue moon, and it's probably Strider. So we have everybody's lineups, but the late game, which doesn't surprise me at this point. But we got projected lineups. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about the pitchers in this game. I love being able to attack Martin Perez today. Give me some of those right-handed bats today from the Nats. Go back to Lane Thomas. Maybe a little cheap Riley Adams at $3,500 there. I like, a cheap Jacob Young too. I think that's a good way to save some money on such a small slate. On the other side, it's, hard not to like the Pirates versus Josiah. Now one thing to keep in mind, they K at a pretty high rate. So I still think Gray could get 5, 6, 7 strikeouts pretty easily. But he can also do that and give up 5 runs and 3 walks. That's just on his sheet. Jack, we hit him for a homer last night. He projects really well again. Going to be hard to not have him. If you're playing GPP, you 100% want to. Single entry might not make it, but I definitely like him for 3 max. He might make my lineup there. Then on the next game, right, we got Pablo. He should be, I think he's going to be the highest owned pitcher. I would be shocked if he's not. Looking at projections right now. Yeah, he's right up there. There's 5 pitchers. Gray's got 26% right now, but Lopez, Lugo, Bybee, and Lynn are all, being projected to be super owned. So I get it. Now I would play Pablo there, but now keep in mind, guys, Cleveland's been out of this world to start, but they played some weaker lineups per se. But I mean, we saw what happened with Kirby yesterday. Kirby got a little unlucky, but he murdered him. So liking that side, it depends on where their stack ownership lands at, like projection wise. If they're really low and he's the highest owned, I definitely like going with a Guardian stack against him, just to offset it. Same thing. I think, these bats are in play today for the Twins. I like Buxton. I like Kepler. I'm a Wallner fan. Wallner's $3,000 and he's got the upside to get you a home run or two. So, I like that quite a bit. As we go through it, and then, we only got 2 other games here. Lance Lynn, at home, we've seen how bad the Marlins have been. I'll be honest, looking at ownership projection, I'm kind of shocked he's not the highest owned, but he's right up there. Like he could end up there pretty easy. Now the stack everybody's going to go to in this game is they're going to hit up, all these bats. You got 2,600 Victor Scott at the top of the lineup. This is, a $2,500 Herrera hitting cleanup. This is going to be the chalk today. Like that's going to be the most owned lineup. And so as bad as Miami's been to start, I don't fault them for it, but I might pick a piece or two, but I can't play that. And I'm off Miami until I see him do anything at all. I really just don't care what the projections say. I'm okay with, using a Lynn off of Pablo. And then this is going to be the most interesting spot for me tonight is I really like, it's going to be hard not to like. I think this is pretty close to what their lineup's going to be. Nelson Velasquez is pretty much a must play for me today. And I'm going to really like the top of this lineup versus Soraka. it depends on where they go. If they end up, let's look at their stack ownership right now, right? If they end up the second highest owned, which they probably will, I might throw for 3 max. I for sure will have at least one Soraka in one of my lineups. I might throw him in 2. He could even make my SE at 6,600 just to get some leverage. Because that's really how you're going to beat Slate, right? Like we were able to go Ben Brown last night and take advantage of all that. This is the interesting side of this game for me today. Is what do we do against Seth Lugo? Lugo is like his projection is way up there with ownership. Yeah, I mean he's trending right now to probably be like the highest owned. I get it, but I like his projection as well. Just put me right there, and it's really there. Really, you're going to see Sirach and Weathers not really owned. Everybody else is going to have some exposure in there. So this is what I'm kind of trying to do last night. I'm probably trying to get, one decently priced, one cheap pitcher. Hope I don't get killed, and it gets that exposure. But as we go back over here, again, if Lugo's going to be, what are we projecting him at? If Lugo's the highest owned pitcher on the slate, like I get they've been a little rough to start, but I'm going to throw some Sox bats in there on principle, like especially in GPP. You guys have to on this shortest slate. Also, don't be afraid if you end up leaving money on the table. These small slates. I'm okay leaving some cash on the table. You want, right? Because ownership's going to be so condensed between the Cards and Royals bats. And then 4 of the, really 5 of the pitchers are pretty high owned. That's going to be a spot to take today. It totally makes sense. I get why they want to do it. We got decent hitting umps so far in the other games. Addison's doing the Twins game. He's kind of a neutral ump, but I kind of like that other side as we go through there. Smitty's article is up on the site. There, he kind of breaks down what he likes. And some of this is you can also eat the chalk pitchers and just try to get a little different with the bats. I get why, right? Like I get why they're there, right? I mean, I'm just there. One of the things I think you should really look at today, though, as you start, as we start looking at this, is when you're on our site, really look at the bullpen matchup ratings. That's I think that's going to be like a big spot to attack on the weakest bullpens. And that's one of the reasons, I like, going White Sox. They're attacking that pin. They're just bad, man. They're just really, really bad. So we're going to keep this a short and sweet show today. I'll have my plays up in our members area. I don't have time to get a full article out before I was being an adult and trying to pay some of the bills. But yeah, man, go look at our ownership projections and owner percent aggregates on stacks right now. It's kind of wild today. So that's that if those are where it's supposed to be, that's a wild number. If the Cardinals are the third most owned only, go attack them, man. Just go jump on those bats. And I'll tell you, my moonshot today, it's hard not to like him. I think I'm just going to go back to Jack. We can still get him at plus 300. He gets a good lineup tonight, good matchup. So I like that. I'm going to attack a little more pitching. And for those in the bets, I like some of the stolen base props tonight. I think there's some nice upside there. So let's go have a good night. Hit me up in Discord, and Smitty will be back tomorrow. Later, boys.